Well done. Good to you. Blood glory. Iron
So
Eagles and
these are the two head crew officers for Fort Cabin for
great job. Well done. Very proud of you.
Okay, you done getting yourself blown up, are you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
I don't plan on doing it again.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Okay, she's
So she scored low on her mace test. So we're going.
Okay.
360. There's 158 soldiers out there.
So why am I signing twice?
Two certificates.
It's okay to have fun.
It's a special honor to have General Petraeus here today, and I think it says a lot about how important what those of you that are in front of me are getting ready to do. So it's a special treat, special honor, and on my behalf, I'd like to say congratulations to all of you for deciding to serve your nation and making that decision while you're in a combat zone. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming General Petraeus.
Well, thanks to all of you. Great to be with the mighty brigade from the 10th Mountain Division here, with the 4th Cab, with all the other great troopers, with some of our Afghan partners, some of the other contingents from RC North, our German colleagues, needless to say. And I want to make sure that all of you who are up here serving in this Allied formation still remember how to say "hua." That was pretty darn good, and it wasn't even rehearsed. One more time, "hua." Okay, it's awesome to be with you. A commander gets to do some wonderful stuff in a mission like this, but there are 3 tasks that stand out above all else as being truly enjoyable. And they are, first, you get to pin a medal on someone's chest who's deserved what you're doing, has earned it in combat, performing tough missions for our country and for the world. Big thrill. You get to promote people. And again, it's a special honor to do that in a combat zone because they have earned it during that period that they've been out there, and it's a pretty wonderful experience. But the most enjoyable, the greatest privilege I think any commissioned officer can have is to recite the Oath of Enlistment with a fellow trooper in combat. Now that is extraordinarily special. And I've been privileged to do it for everything from one individual on a remote combat outpost out near the border with Pakistan or up in northern Iraq, or even in places like Yemen or the Gulf states in recent years. We had the biggest re-enlistment ceremony in all history, we believe. Command Sergeant Major Hill and I, where's Command Sergeant Major Hill, by the way? Okay, we'll leave you to him here after this. He will give it. If there's any energy left in your body that hasn't been tapped when you see 160 soldiers re-enlist, he'll get it out of you. I've been privileged to have Sergeant Major Hill. Come on up here, Sergeant Major, actually. I've been privileged to have Sergeant Major Hill as my air assault buddy and to be his air assault buddy now this is our 4th time in combat together. Started with the great Screaming Eagles, air assault. Air assault. Okay, thank you for that. It was a little bit weak, but Sergeant Major, you can train him up on that. And in the 101st Airborne Division, the 4th of July of 2003, we thought it'd be neat to have a re-enlistment ceremony for 101 troopers, and we ended up with about 150, 160, something like that. And then we came back together for the surge, And we had a ceremony the first 4th of July. We were together there. We thought it'd be nice to top what we did in 101st. It ended up being double or triple that. And then the next 4th of July, we realized that the logistical burdens of this stuff were pretty overwhelming. And so we just wanted to have a few hundred troopers, but it kept growing and growing. And then when we told them they would get a photograph with Command Sergeant Major Hill, personally, all of a sudden the numbers shot up, and we ended up over 1,000. In fact, we ended up with 1,215 soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines. It was an extraordinary event, and it was an extraordinary honor to do it. Now, at that ceremony, as I raised my right hand and prepared to recite the Oath of Enlistment, I looked out at them just as I am looking out at you, and I asked myself why they were doing this. What is the motivation? What has led them to put their right hand in the air again to say, send me? Because that's what they were doing, that's what you are doing. When you raise your hand in a combat zone to re-enlist, you know that it is very likely you're going to be asked to redeploy after this particular tour is over. And a lot of you have already raised your hand a number of times and been on a number of deployments. In fact, let me see the hands. How many of you have 36 months or more deployed since 9/11? That is extraordinary. Really impressive. And some of you, of course, got a little bit surprised to end up a little earlier out in Afghanistan instead of Iraq, where you thought you were going. I know how that feels, by the way. I went to the White House for a meeting and came out with a new job. But again, as we look out at you and say, okay, what's this all about? We realize it's not for the living conditions, it's not for the stock options. Yeah, some of you are getting a bonus, but you know, you could have waited a while for that. It'll happen. And that's not really it at the end of the day. I think there are 3 reasons why individuals do what you are doing. The first is you realize that you are performing a mission of enormous importance to our country and to the country in which we're operating and to the region and indeed to the world. You remember that we're here because we cannot allow this country to become a sanctuary for transnational extremists once again, as it was when the 9/11 attacks were planned here.